Good morning, guys. So I'm all done with my morning chores. All the animals are fed, happy, and taken care of and ready to face their days. Oh, and I'm trying to be perky. I'm trying to be spunky this morning, and I just don't have it in me. I'm whooped. Yeah, the last several days, Joel and I have really been putting some pepper on it to get this done. The goal is to have it ready for friends to come visit sometime in early November, before Thanksgiving. We want to have a little get together here and, let everybody be kind of civilized. Now, our really good friend and neighbor up the road, across the way, Lori, she came over this past Saturday night. Bottle of wine. We hung out. We just chit-chatted. It was so nice. I can't remember the last time we spent a Saturday night just doing that. It was really awesome. Anyway, so we've had some excitement around here. We had some excitement last night. So when Joel got home from work, we decided that the task that needed to be faced right away was the yard work. Usually, yard work around here involves heavy equipment, chainsaws, and some dirty words. Anyway, so last night, this was going to be easy. It was just weed eating and mowing. We have a lot of area to weed eat and mow, so we got going on it. I'll pop my happy little earbuds in. Raycon earbuds, guys. If you don't have them, get you some. They are the best earbuds going. I'm not sponsored by them at all. Yet. Anyway, pop the earbuds in, whip that throttle up, and off I went. Got it done just at dark. And then we came in. We had to still eat supper, take care of all the animals, do all the stuff, get cleaned up, get ready for bed, start winding down. Oi. So it was about 10:30 when we finally hit the pillows. It was short-lived, guys. Just right after we laid down and got comfortable, little goat girl started going off. That is unusual for her. The chickens were going off. No, that's unusual for them. So, I don't remember my feet hitting the ground. I had Mr. 9. I was out the front door and out of the goat enclosure. Joel was still trying to figure out what happened. And then he heard me yelling. And I was saying dirty words. About 20 feet in front of me is the corner of the shop, the back side of the shop, and the well house. And there's some pretty serious growth right there. I couldn't see. It's very dark. Couldn't see. But the sound of whatever was crashing through there was substantial, and it was two-legged. Now, bears don't run on their two legs. So whatever it was, I'm thinking was human, and it was a good-sized human. It wasn't a little midget this time. We had a little midget invasion last week. Took care of that. It's unfortunate about that limp. Anyway. So in no uncertain terms, and to not be unclear, I let whoever was back there know that this would not be tolerated. We're the new kids on the block, so people are going to be curious, but The neighbors that we have around us, they've come, they've introduced themselves to us. They are civilized people, and they are nice people. They know the difference between mine, not mine, yours, not yours, right? And they respect those boundaries. So it wasn't anybody right around us doing this. So I don't know who it might have been, but they got the idea loud and clear. Homie, don't mess around. You are a threat, and I will deal with the threat. Which leads me into this. So I've been talking to quite a few people back where we came from, and they want to move out this way. And I'm like, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't want to do that. If you have never lived out rurally or in the woods as we are, if you've never done that before, it's a whole different thing, okay? Now, I used to live in the hills of the Ozarks many years ago, and I know my way around the woods. I know what's in the woods here, okay? Joel has never been here, but to watch how he motors around and how he has adapted to this, you wouldn't know it. But it's a learning curve, right? So when you go from a place where your next door neighbor is literally 8 feet away from you, and you have no breathing room at all, to all of a sudden you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're quite secluded, you might be inclined to think that this is the safest way to go. Now, I believe for me, it is the safest way to go because I know what this is. And I know that there are people that will lurk around just to see who you are, see what you're made of. Really, they're testing you. You don't just call up and order food. That doesn't happen. You need to know how to cook. You need to know how to take care of yourself. You need to know how to take care of minor medical emergencies for you and your animals. You need to know how to do all these things. But if you are that person who is committed to living out and away and more sustainably, and preferably if you are wise and if you are able, you will do this debt-free. Okay? No mortgage. More power to you. Just be prepared. Know what you're dealing with. Okay? Like right now, my biggest concern on my head is fixing the fireplace. We need to have an alternative heat source because I know the ice storms that come through here. And it's not, maybe the power will go out, and if it does, it'll only be for a couple hours. No, when these ice storms come through, we could be without power for days. So we need an alternative heat source. We've got our brains on it, and we're working toward that solution. We'll get there. Anyway, winter is coming, and all the locals around here are saying it's probably going to be a bad one this year as far as the cold and the snow, and it wouldn't surprise me. But when you live out like this, you have that mindset every year that winter is going to be difficult. Just get ready for it, right? There's no such thing as over-preparing. There's not. Make sure you've got your food on hand. Learn how to can, learn how to preserve, learn how to process meat so that it's there, right? So you're not having to worry about, oh geez, the freezer's down, now what? And here's a happy helpy tip for you guys, if you hadn't thought about it. If you live out here and an ice storm takes out the electricity and you're worried about your food spoiling, it's really cold outside. You'll be okay. But you need to have alternative sources to cook. You need to have the food to eat. You need to have alternative heat sources. And you need to have an alternative water source. Okay? We've got everything except the alternative heat source. Now we have a generator, but we don't want to run the generator, and it's not big enough to handle what we would need it to do. It's not big enough to run our furnace. So we've got to come up with something. If any of you out there have any kind of an idea, this is the issue. So the people who had the place before us, they were burning household trash, plastics, and other stuff, unidentifiable stuff, in the fireplace. I don't know why. So we had a company come out and take a look at it and scope it, check it out. So the final analysis is that we need to have an entirely new firebox and a new chimney, a new pipe. I don't know how to get that done. So if anybody out there watching this has any suggestions, either reach out to me or drop me something in the comments. I would greatly appreciate that. All right, so the next thing, we've got weather coming in finally rain. My best guess looking at the models is tomorrow's gonna get kind of spicy and Thursday's just gonna be rainy. I'm fine with that. That's awesome. We need the rain. But it means I need to be prepared. We're a little bit lower, so if there's any flooding, I need to keep my eyes open for that. Chickens don't like to get their feet wet. Divas. But they're not as bad at divas as the little goat girl. That little goat girl, I'll tell you what. Lord have mercy. She's a diva. Yeah. Anyway. So I got to get some stuff done. So today I'm going to bake some bread. My husband loves to eat. So I'm going to bake some bread. And I think I'm going to make him some brownies or something. He sure is a good guy. He's a good guy. I love my husband. He's awesome. Anyway, so I'm going to do something nice for him. And I've got to do laundry. Oy, gee, wow, I've got to do laundry. And I got some other domestic stuff I need to do. And of course, some boxes to go through. I don't know if I'm ever going to come to the end of all these boxes. Just keep plowing away, box at a time. We got to get, so our last big project in the house, though, is getting our production area set up. So that gets a little involved because I've got all my heat presses and all my die cutters, all that stuff back there. We have a couple of computers. It's also my office area where I'm working on my book and I do editing and everything back there. We also have the laser engraver to set up. We've got orders coming in, guys, and Christmas is going to be here before we know it. And we get so incredibly busy during the holidays, what with the pet portraits and the knives and the pens and the things and all the stuff. So we do a lot of wood turning. I don't know if I had mentioned that before, but upcoming, we're going to be doing some videos of making pens and making other things on the wood lathes that we have. We have two of them. So we're going to be showing some of that. We've got to make some pepper grinders and salt mills and things like that. So that's going to be fun too. We're going to have you along for that. We don't set the lathes up in the house. Just the production area is just like my office area. It's a huge room and very well lit, but it's my office, so my desk area, and then we have the laser engraver, all the die cutters, the heat presses, the all the things that we don't ever get bored around here. Bored is not a word that's in our vocabulary. Anyway, so we've got to get that all set up. And once that's set up, then it's just fine detailing everything. We still have to do the trim work. And our neighbor right up the road, he has a sawmill. I mean, it's a serious sawmill. And he has offered to cut all of our trim from the trees right around here, which I think is just a kind of a cool little cherry on the sundae here. So we're going to get that. And and I catch myself saying, we're going to do. Well, you know what? There are just as many we have dones as there are we're going to do's around here. But you got to have a plan. You got to have a direction. You got to know where you're going to go, know what you're going to do. So those are the big things that we have to do yet. We have to set up the production area. We have to get the trim work done. And from there, I mean, it's just easy breezy. Living is easy, especially with an alternative heat source. I keep looking at the fireplace. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Until spring. So right about in January, I'm going to start my seeds. I have a greenhouse. So I'm going to start my seeds inside, get my hydroponics going. And then I start planning out my garden. I'm going to till up my garden plot area proper. I'm going to get that done this fall. Get it all fenced in and get all the raised beds where I want them to be, so that we can be adding compost throughout the winter. Just keep adding layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers, so that it's all ready in the spring. All we got to do is till it in with the soil. We didn't get to have a garden this year, and that's okay. We were pretty busy with, I don't know, making the place livable. But that's about all I got this morning. I need to get after it, get the rest of my work done here, so I can sit down and knock out a couple of chapters in the book. I'd like to get 2 done today if I can. And yeah, take care of some boxes this afternoon. Yay! Oh, and here's some exciting news. Exciting news! I found my occasional chairs for the living room. They will be here tomorrow. I know. It's the simple things. Anyway, y'all go out and actively look for something nice to do for somebody else. Keep that attitude of gratitude and keep looking up.